Hello guys, I am here in the next video on the topic classification of journal entries. Here we have got 7 types of journal entries. They are simple journal entries, compound journal entries, opening entries, transfer entries, closing entries, adjustment entries and rectification entries. All these are different types of journal entries. To start with simple journal entries, we had already seen in the earlier videos, in the journal set of a transaction wherein you have got only one debit and one credit are called simple journal entries. The basic principles of accountancy says that for every debit there should be a corresponding and equivalent credit. On the same way, so when there is only one debit, for that one equivalent credit, that is called a simple journal entry. Now let us get into compound journal entry. A compound journal entry is an entry involving more than two accounts. In a compound journal entry, there are two or more debits and only one credit for the same total of the debit value, and vice versa. Vice versa in the sense one debit and more than one credit. So this is the second situation. Third one, there could be more than one debit and more than one credits also with the equal value. In this, even though there are more than one debit, the total of more than one debit and more than one credit total should be equal. So that is the third situation. So different compound journal entries you have. Anyway, more than one debit and more than one credit entry, that you need to remember. Let us get into an example wherein you have got purchase transaction. Here in this particular date, purchase transaction involving three different types of modes of payment. On a particular day, you had purchased the goods for the saleable item to the tune of 50,000. How did you make payment? By cash 15,000, by bank check 25,000, and by credit. Here the name itself is given creditor. Credit the giver 10,000. So all that you need to understand, my dear, is purchase, debit all expenses and losses. You are spending for purchasing saleable items of stocks goods 50,000. This is a single debit. Against this, there are three different modes of payment, so three different credit items. You need to remember for each and every credit, the rule is applied. Here, cash. Credit what goes out? For the cash purchase, 15,000 rupees cash had gone out. So 15,000 credit. By way of giving check, bank account is credited. 25,000 credit the giver. And the last one, credit purchases you had made, credit the giver. Right? So in all these things, you have got three different modes of payment. At the same time, sales transaction involving three different modes of receipts. So here you have got sales to the tune of total 2 lakhs income. Sales income, credit all incomes and gains, sales you have got for 2 lakhs. How did you receive the payment? In what mode of payment? Like debit what comes in. Cash sales, you had got cash sales, cash coming in, debit what comes in 25,000. Whereas the second mode of payment, mode of receipt, you have received 65,000. Bank check you have received, okay. And another one, you had made a credit sales to the tune of 1,10,000. So now let us understand these three different types of debits. That means more than one debit to the total of 2 lakhs sales credit income. Next, this is a wonderful example where you have got more than one debit and more than one credit. This is the best example to illustrate a complete set of compound journal entry. Here the example is taken as there are two partners who have brought the different types of contributions to start the business. That is one, Mr. Ajay had contributed by way of cash and furniture as a capital contribution. Next, Vijay contributed by way of cash and also stock. Altogether, what are the different types of items coming in? So as you know very well, cash here anyway by both the partners, furniture, stock. Cash, furniture, stock. There are three different items coming in. So real account item, debit what comes in cash. Now my dear, you need to understand that cash of both the partners added together, that is 90,000 plus 50,000, 1,40,000. Debit what comes in. Stock to the tune of 70,000 brought in by the second partner, and furniture to the value of 20,000 brought in by the first partner. Anyway, there are three different asset items debited. So who brought these? Ajay by way of capital 1,10,000. That means his capital contribution of 90,000 plus 20,000. So 90 plus 20, 1,10,000. Vijay's contribution 1,20,000. That means 50 plus 70. So here 2,30,000 you have got. Same like that. Here 2,30,000 debit and 2,30,000 credit you have got. Hope you understand what do we really mean by compound journal entry. Here trade discount and cash discount. This we have already seen in chapter 1 and 2 of the NCERT book. The accounting concept trade discount. Here trade discount is the one allowed by the seller on purchase of large volume by the customer. In order to encourage large volume by the customers, it is deducted in the invoice from the sale price and is not at all recorded in the books of accounts separately. Sales is recorded at the net value only. So we need to understand this trade discount is the one given for large volume purchase and not shown separately on the books of accounts. Now, cash discount. It is the one allowed by the seller of goods to encourage the prompt or early repayment of the debts. Whenever you are making credit sales, in order to encourage the credit customers for the timely repayment, you can give cash discount. So this cash discount, depending upon the time within which he has paid back the money, that is dues. It is an expense for the business allowing it, and it is the gain for the business receiving it. That one you need to remember. Let us get into the journal. Journal entries for discount received and discount allowed. When you are receiving discount, from whom you will receive? You will receive from the supplier. If at all you are making the timely repayment. Okay, at the time of repayment, you will receive this discount from whom? Okay, the creditor. So, when you are making the payment, for example, let me assume a huge amount you have to give, that subtract the discount received, the balance. Okay, so the creditor debit the receiver. You are making payment to the supplier, so creditor account is debited. And when the discount given by the creditor, discount received is an income, that is credited. Hope you understand. Right. Now next, when cash discount is allowed means immediately what should come to your mind is expense. Settlement by the credit customer. Your customer. Earlier you had made credit sales, now that individual is settling his account after subtracting the discount allowed by you. So debtor, credit the giver. Now your credit customer is giving back, that is he is settling his account, so he is credited, credit the giver. So let us see an example of illustration with the right amount. Okay. On July 13th, 2003, for example, received cash of rupees 24,700 from Shanti in full settlement of her account of rupees 25,000. You are supposed to receive 25,000, but in fact you have received only 24,700. What happened to that 300? This 300 you had allowed this as cash discount. Let us get into the journal. Journal entry for this discount allowed and settlement of account by Shanti. Mrs. Shanti, in the sense cash received only to the tune of debit what comes in 24,700. Here you have discovered, you had allowed a cash discount, so discount allowed rupees 300 expenses, and credit the giver as if she had given the entire amount 25,000 is credited. Now let us get into the next one. Okay, this is the example for payment transaction. In this payment involving compound journal entry, How do we pass the journal entry? Let us see. This is a payment of cash to one Mrs. Tenmari for rupees 14,500 in full settlement of her account of rupees 15,000. So debit the receiver as if that Mrs. Tenmari had received the entire 15,000. We have to debit that. And now cash, credit what goes out? Only 14,500. Whereas you are receiving the discount of rupees 500 from Mrs. Tenmari. So credit the income. So on that basis you are crediting this discount received amount of rupees 500. So this is the complete compound journal entry when you are making payment to the supplier and receiving discount from them. Next is opening journal entry. What do we mean by opening journal entry? Here, at the beginning of every accounting year, we have to start the accounting year by passing the journal entry, opening journal entry in the books of accounts, which are transferred from the assets and liabilities of the previous year's balance sheet to this. That is brought as the opening balances of the assets account, liabilities account and capital account. These ledgers are started with the opening balance values, which are called opening journal entries. Now closing entries. At the end of every accounting year, all the nominal account ledgers are to be closed and these balances are to be transferred to the respective revenue statement, that is trading profit or loss account. So in order to close all the nominal account ledgers, the entries which are passed are called closing journal entries. Now we have got adjusting entries. We will see in the separate chapter called financial statement, wherein you need to pass adjustment journal entries, which are given at the bottom of the trial balance. These are not recorded in the books of accounts. So you have to pass adjusting journal entries. This also you will learn in the concerned chapter once again in detail. However, you need to practice lot more sums in order to be familiar with all these, either simple journal entry or compound journal entry. Practice makes a man perfect. So you are expected to practice lot more problem and get the proficiency. All the best, do well. Great.